So this video is to break down CPTSD with visuals because this disorder, it's unknown in Australia and it comes with so many symptoms. It gets misdiagnosed, mistreated, and goes untreated. So the symptoms only worsen over time, and that's on physical, mental, emotional levels because we get re-traumatized trying to get help. We get re-traumatized in communities. We get sicker through the not being treated properly, and it just builds up over time, and that's why there are different levels of it. And so I'm going to break it down. If you think about someone in your life who you know or have known, whether you're close to them or not, from a random who you know in the shop, at the community, to a colleague, to a family member, friend, whoever, an ex, whatever. We all know someone with mental health issues, right? And there's a lot of things going on. So I'm going to show you why and how we get so misdiagnosed and mistreated, but also what we live with and how full on it is. So here's something I prepared earlier. So we all know that this is not all of the symptoms, right? These are the ones that only relate to CPTSD. So anyone who has bipolar will experience all of these things, but they will also have other things that aren't related to CPTSD, plus more, yeah? So they all have plus mores. So we quite commonly get diagnosed with bipolar because we experience all of these things that you can see on this page. Not feeling worthy, the fatigue, that's supposed to have a U in it, overwhelmed, all of these things that bipolar people experience. So then we're given pills for bipolar. But we also experience the same symptoms as ADHD and autism. So then we're given pills for all of these things. All of these things are just some of what these disorders go through, but they are all things that people with CPTSD experience every day together. The symptoms of the bipolar, the symptoms of the ADHD, the symptoms of the autism, symptoms of personality disorder, and PTSD. So we're given pills for these as well. Try these. So we're getting pills for bipolar. We're getting pills for ADHD. We're getting pills for personality disorders and DIDs, which is a dissociative one where you've got the different personalities, right? It used to be called multiple personality disorder. But then we're also experiencing these. Abuse survivors. They've got all sorts of pills for people with these things. Anxiety, depression, deep breathing. Sorry, I think I went way too far back then with the camera. And of course, somatic symptoms of trauma we live with every day as well. But they won't give us anything for that. No. So we live with all of this and this. But these are in our heads. These ones are all in our heads. These ones, we get pills and deep breaths. And then, we get pills and we get told grounding techniques, pills. So these all get thrown into our system. And we don't have all those disorders. We have CPTSD, which has all of those symptoms that come with those disorders. So if you could imagine what a person with bipolar lives with every single day, what a person with autism lives with, ADHD, what they live with, what an abuse survivor does, what someone with a personality disorder, how they live every day. Someone with somatic symptoms just from trauma, just the somatic symptoms. Now pile them all together and that's CPTSD. Now add to that, no one believes you. No one will help you. Everywhere you go, you're getting scared and given medicine for all of these other things you don't have, which have the exact same side effects. A lot of those pills for here, for these things, all these fucking pills that you give us for these, all these symptoms, they have side effects that are in here that we're already getting. So all it does is exacerbate them. So you're giving us pills that fuck with our stomach and our bowels and our sleep, and they mess us around, causing anxiety and cramping and muscle spasms and vision and hearing and fucking with our cognitive impairment. That's all side effects, that exacerbate the symptoms that we're complaining about that you're saying aren't in our head because you're so busy trying to treat these things because you're not a mental health professional, you're a GP, and because you have no trauma awareness. So you are, in my eyes, a murderer because the information's there. The UK and the USA, if the USA has that book for diagnoses, but they're still diagnosing people with CPTSD, which isn't in that book, it tells you that they're not just using that book. WHO, the World Health Organization, doesn't use the DSM-5, and I can't remember the name of their book, but the one they use has CPTSD in it. So the UK, who took this country to begin with and is what we are, have CPTSD in their country. So I am not sure why Australia is ignoring the information that's out there. If I can find it on Google, you have so many people in this country living with it, complaining about the same things, clearly getting sicker, trauma's getting worse and worse and worse. You should even hear the conversations just trying to call a trauma center to get information. These people aren't even trauma aware, and the way they speak to you, it's like they are actually really intimidating, some of them, or really just like cold and blunt. And it's like you're calling up all even scared, trying to even like function and like have like work yourself up to a human conversation to just get raw. And you're like, woo. And then you find out the service is not something that you'll ever be able to get anyway. So yeah, Australia's killing us, literally. So in my eyes, GPs are someone I will never trust. Same with the police. No matter what happens to me. I had a physical injury a few weeks ago where my thumb, I had to bend it back myself, and I had shooting pain up my arm because I had an accident. And it was all swollen and I couldn't move it. And there was just no way I would go to a GP or a hospital or anything. I just dealt with not using it for a while and have been dealing with the pains that I get from it. And the fact that I can't grip it properly anymore like I used to. And I'm okay with that because I'd rather have a bung hand and some shooting pain up my arm when I already have, if you're not even going to fix my somatic symptoms that I've been really suffering with my whole life, and I go in there and you're just going to traumatize everything else that I've got going on for my thumb. No, it's okay. So a lot of people are stopping their health appointments and not trusting you guys because they are finding alternative ways. They are going online and researching it to self-medicate, to heal themselves, to learn from people who actually care and who actually know and who actually listen. So, to all of the GPs and therapists in Australia, until you learn about trauma, the nervous system, and the symptoms of CPTSD and what it really is, you are going to be responsible for a lot of pain and suffering, and you're getting paid a lot of money to do that.